Do you have a plan for your quarterbacks for Saturday yet?
Not set in stone. I mean, what I said last week, we wanted Trey to get the majority of the first half, so Sam could get the next week. So that's what we're planning on, but we'll see how the next two practices go before we decide for sure.
So probably no Brock.
I haven't decided yet with all the starters.
Where do things stand with the number 2 quarterback role at this point?
They're competing for it.
Brandon Allen, what's his status?
He had a baby yesterday morning. I think he might be back now. Gets sometime today and should be good to go tomorrow, I believe.
What did you say? The baby was born?
All these days are blending together. I think it was yesterday morning. Yeah. Might have been the day before that night.
Recently?
Yes.
As long as he remembers.
As long as he remembers, it's important. If I remember, I'll forget something that is important to us.
So really, you kind of hope to get Elijah back. Is he close?
Yeah, he is close. Yep.
Coach, there's been a lot of negativity around Trey Lance in the national media recently. Yesterday, there was somebody coming out saying that Trey doesn't have the quarterback instinct. What do you have to say about that kind of comment?
It just goes with the territory. I mean, it goes with it for quarterbacks. It goes with it for anybody who's a high draft pick, but especially a quarterback. You watch, and that's one of the tough things, I think, for that position, but also for high draft picks. I mean, you watch receivers come in the league and they have a few drops early in camp, and there becomes a lot of pressure on them. People want to see those people take off and do it right away and have no flaws, and that's just part of it.
Is there anything you've had to address with him, or is he pretty good as far as the mindset, knowing what comes with the territory?
I mean, Trey is extremely smart, very socially aware. He knows how the world works, and so he does his best, which I think he does a damn good job of trying to block that out and just focus on getting better, and I think that's what he's done so far.
Kyle, how do you see the back end of the wide receiver core competition coming along?
I think it's tight. Sometimes we keep 5, usually we have, sometimes we keep 6. Especially Ray being hurt kind of opens some things up. So it's going to be a tight race.
Do you anticipate that Ray would not go on IR to open the season?
It all depends on how long his recovery will be. I wouldn't think so with how they've said. So I expect we won't be able to put him on IR, which is a good thing because we hope he can play hopefully week 1, but we'll see how fast it is. So, but we won't know that for a little bit.
And then with Brock, they made some good throws out there today, but there's, the defense is getting their hands on a lot of footballs, and probably been more interceptions than anybody in this building would want. Why do you think those interceptions are happening? Is it anything that you're concerned with?
You never want interceptions in any situation. There's never one answer. Each one's different. But when you're getting, I definitely like having interceptions a lot more in practice than in games. And one thing Brock does is he lets it rip. He's not worried about anything else. Especially not worried about people counting his interceptions, at practice and stuff. And that doesn't mean they're all right. But I do like him letting it rip, and I like him learning from things that he can't get away with, things he can get away with, and I think our defense got their hands on a lot of balls, not just Brock's, but I definitely want our quarterbacks to cut down on them, but I also want them to make real throws, and when they make mistakes, to learn from them.
Coach them to be more aggressive on the practice field than they might be in a game?
I try to coach them the same, but you also are always responsible for that ball, and so there's sometimes in games that you see something, you hesitate a little bit because of some scar you might have had in practice or something from letting it go, and you don't let it rip because you did that in practice, and then we watch the tape after and we try to learn if that was real or not, or if that was just a scar from practice. Those things happen. You try to coach it the exact same, but where you learn is practice, and then you get to the games and you never tell someone to change. You want to be aggressive in everything you do, but now if we get those 3 picks, it's going to be extremely hard for us to win.
He made a throw down the left sideline in a pretty tight window to Brandon with Lafonga raging over. Did that throw show you anything as far as the arm strength and what he's capable of doing now?
Yeah, but I didn't think much of that. I know what he is capable of doing. Showed us that last year, and he's already shown us that this year. So I just see us working with the same guy right now. He's healthy to me. There's not much difference. I think there's still a pitch count, which but nothing looks different to our eyes at all. You know, he's healthy.
How do you evaluate those plays where you're trying to sort of guess if it's a real sack and, you know, trying to guess how they would actually make that decision in the game? Is that tricky when you're watching tape and you're trying to decide how real that scenario is?
No, no, just seen it a lot, and we understand it all. We know a lot of those are sacks, but that just we still like to get the rep and things like that. So it's how they move, how they avoid it, whether they just sit there and take it, whether they react. All that stuff counts, and that's stuff that we got a very good feel about, and it's something that you can't always get a feel on the field about just watching with your eye. That's why we have so many different angles, and that's what we do the rest of the day.
At what point in the preseason do you guys kind of take a peek at Pittsburgh and start putting together that game plan?
Always work on it, and that's stuff you do when you're bored in the summer. We jump ahead to teams ahead. But there's nothing that I ever really put on paper and give to guys that is set in stone, because I've had people make us do that in the past, and you do it all, and you get to set in stone, and you work on stuff, and you feel totally different the week you get there and you watch them on Tuesday. You don't know your team that week. You don't know their team that week. So you get an idea of fronts and coverages and things like that, so you can mix it into your practices, things you'll run versus it, so you don't just get too obsessed with going against the 49ers defense. That's what we like about scrimmaging other teams if we can. So we always sprinkle it in, but it's never that big of a deal, but it's in the back of our mind as coaches.
Would you like to get both kickers into the game on Saturday?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. Zane's looked too good to not give him a chance. That was the plan last week, too, when we were going to have Moody go one and then Zane come in the next, but when he missed that, I wanted to give him another chance. Good? Oh, I thought you said you had another.
No.
All right.